Hi, my name is Kate and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm kind of new around here, so nice to meet you. For my first video, I'm going to be talking about how I paid off about $18,000 in debt. To start off, I want to just kind of categorize what the debt was. So 16.5 thousand was student debt, 1,500 was a car loan, and the rest of it was just kind of miscellaneous stuff. So for part one, or section one, I want to talk about how I did it. But the first thing that I like to talk about, I would say, is luck and from support from my family and friends. So by good luck, I mean that a lot of things aligned so that I could save a little bit more money. When COVID started, I was able to keep my job, my full-time job, and then I was able to work from home basically till now. I'm still working from home, but obviously that saved me gas money, it saved me like lunch money and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm not saying that the lunch money helped me pay my debt. I'm just saying that if I wasn't able to keep my job because of COVID, I would not have been able to make these payments. And then the other major thing is that where I live right now, I don't pay any rent. So I think if I was paying rent, I might not have been able to pay off my debt to this capacity. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things you could call it, but I call it good luck for this purpose. The second thing that helped me was budgeting, and by that I mean that I started writing my budget down physically on pen and paper, instead of what I used to do, which is keep a running total in my head. I think that sitting down and writing it out and looking at my expenses helped me to see how much money I had left over and to be intentional and actually put in my budget my debt payment. So that was very helpful. Number 3 was doing a low buy, sort of a no buy, but really a low buy. So for the first, I think 6 to 7 months of 2020, I stopped buying things. Not everything, of course. I still bought my essentials. What I need to live, I still bought, but I didn't buy any extra clothes or any extra shoes or like anything just that was like quote unquote frivolous in my eyes. I think I focused more on clothes and shoes because that's where I was spending a lot of my money. I looked back at my 2019 expenses and this category seemed to be quite up there. So I knew that I needed to cut back. Also, COVID kind of helped in that sense because I didn't really need to buy clothes because I wasn't really going anywhere and stuff was closed anyway, so it was good. The fourth one is a second job. I have a second job which I work 10 to 20 hours every couple weeks, and even though it's just a little, I'm still grateful for it because that adds up to just a few $100 that were going to my debt payment each month. And the fifth thing that I did, I don't know if I did this, I don't know if this helped me, but I did it by consuming a lot of finance media because I wanted to know the different ways that I could pay off my debt. And sometimes people have different approaches to how they organize their money. So I think for me it was good to learn as I went along and like perfected my method. So an example of people that I watched or listened to, Dave Ramsey, of course, Howard Clark, The Financial Diet. the His and Her Money Show, Farnoosh Torabi, Daily Optimal Finance, How to Money. So this guy, he's not really a finance person, but he kind of is. He does also like minimalism stuff. But Nate O'Brien, I think that's his name, I really like how he approaches his finances. Why did I want to pay off my debt? I wanted to pay off my debt because I don't like being in debt. It's simple as that. I don't like owing people. It just weighs down on my heart. I feel constrained having debt because I feel like, I don't know. It doesn't make me feel good. Another reason why I wanted to pay off my debt is because I want to go to grad school, and I don't want my undergrad debt to transfer over or just to be there because I want like a fresh start. Ideally, I don't even want to have debt in grad school, so I'm still trying to figure that out, and it's hard for me to what am I trying to say? It would be hard for me to try to be paying off my debt and also like possibly paying for grad school. But you know, if the universe or if God wills, I will go to grad school without any debt, or I will graduate grad school without any debt. We'll see. But basically I just didn't want to start grad school. I don't want to start grad school with any kind of debt. Number 4 is that I want to build wealth. And right now, I have a negative net worth, and that's not okay. I want to get to a place where I have positive net worth. I want to get to a place where I can invest freely. Right now, I don't feel like I'm living up to my full potential because I'm not growing my money as much as I could or as much as I should. So that's the other reason I want to build wealth. And one of the last reason is that I want to give back monetarily. I don't know if that's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, I don't want to be like Bill Gates and like giving out my money and then like feeling entitled to tell people what to do. I'm not about that. I just kind of want to help others because I know that I've been helped financially a lot. Like, I couldn't have made it here without people's help, so I want to have the chance to do the same for other people. Now my last section is I called it lessons learned / tips / knowledge. The first tip was to be intentional. I started out 2020, I wanted to pay off debt. I always wanted to pay off debt, but I don't think I was as intentional as I could have been. Like I said, I didn't write budgets like that. I was one of those people that was just like, it's just in my head. I know what's in my account, this, that, and the third, and it worked. It worked for the most part, but this time I wanted to really sit down with myself, make a plan based on how much I was earning and what my expenses were, and then going from that and paying off my debt. And I think that really was something that helped me out, because sometimes I would have more money than I thought, and that would be exciting. Sometimes there'd be emergencies and I wouldn't have as much money, but it still helped to just know where I was, and it gave me it made me happy whenever I would like reach milestones. Like the first 1,000, it was like okay, and then it was like 5,000, and then it was 10,000. It's just, it feels good. The second one is, it's better to know what's in your bank account than to not know. I used to be, and I still kind of am, but not really. I used to be the person, I was afraid to open like my banking app. Like I would only open it when it was like absolutely necessary, but I was like, I don't need to know what's in there. I didn't need to know how much I don't have. But as I did this journey, I found that it was important because I had a budget and I had to make sure that my budget was aligning with what's in my bank account. And sometimes there were charges that I didn't know about, but I had forgotten. So that would help me by like if there was something that I got charged for a service, I would like cut it out. Like it was just extra that I could cut out, and sometimes emergencies happen, so you need to know. Number 3 is budget. I've already talked about it, but budgeting, it helps. Some people don't feel like it does, but it really does, because I don't know, it does. I don't know how to explain it. I just know that it does. For me, it helped. Maybe for you it doesn't. And I don't feel like you have to do one method. I think there's many methods. I use pen and paper because that's what worked out for me. I have my money journal here. I like writing in it, so I can look back at, you know, what's going on every month. But you can do Excel, or you can do, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but I think that it's good to know where your money is going and how you're planning on spending it. Number 4 is have multiple accounts. So as I was paying off my debt, maybe, I guess this doesn't relate to any debt things, but as I was paying off my debt, I still had a savings goal. I also had an emergency fund because it's very important, but it's hard. I found that it was hard for me to keep track of my money with just like basically like 2 savings accounts, like a checking and a savings. I would just put all my savings into one savings account, but then I found it hard to keep track of because there were things that I wanted to buy, and there's like sinking funds, so like I know like my insurance is due every 6 months. It was hard to keep all that in check. So I found that by opening different bank accounts, it was very easy for me to keep track of my money. It feels like a lot, but it's not. I have currently 6 accounts. I have 2 checking accounts and 4 savings accounts, and it's so much easier. My mind likes that, I guess. I like organization, and it just makes my like mind warm. It's like, oh, here's my savings account for my car. Here's my saving account for whatever. Here's my emergency fund. I just like how it's all just neat. So whenever I run into an emergency, I know where to take that money. And this also ties to number 5. But I learned that it's good to know your banking options. Talk to your banker. I don't know. I use a credit union account. I use a credit union. I don't have a bank. Same thing, probably nicer. But before, I didn't know what options I had, because I was like, well, I have this money just kind of in savings sitting there. It's not big enough to invest. Not big, that's not what I mean, but I have it, but I need it to be very liquid. And if you're investing, it's very hard to get out your money. So like sometimes if you need your money in the short term, it's just better to leave it in a savings account. But I was like, well, is there a way I could make money from this? So I looked into my credit union, and they have so many options. They have this, I don't know, most unions have this thing they call a money market account. This is a savings account that you get more interest from it, and sometimes it's kind of good. It's kind of like, compared to like the stock markets, it's kind of good. It works for me, but there's other options that might be helpful for you. So I think it's good to talk to your banking people. At least where I am, it's so cool. I could just like make an appointment to meet with somebody for like literally just free financial advice. How great is that? Anyways, I'm tired of talking, but let me know if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe or don't. Either way, thank you for watching, and have a good day. Goodbye.